Hello, Mark here, and I hope I find you well. As a Lightroom trainer, I'm often asked, what is Lightroom? What's the difference between Lightroom and Lightroom Classic? Why shouldn't I just use Photoshop? And why is now Adobe charging a subscription model rather than in the past it was pay up front for the software? So in this video, I'm going to try and answer those questions. Lightroom Classic is a legacy product. It's designed for laptops and computers. And how we input our data into those applications are via keyboard, mouse, desktop tablets. And we import our images into a catalogue. In my case, I have over 370,000 images in my catalogue on one large drive. You can have multiple drives and you don't need to have your drives synced or connected at the same time. Classic also allows you to talk to third-party applications. So perhaps there's a specific type of photography you like. Let's say you do a lot of time-lapse. Lightroom is not necessarily designed for time-lapse, and there are other third-party apps out there in the market that seamlessly integrates with Lightroom Classic, backwards and forwards, allowing you to create the content that you wish to create. Now, while we're talking about content, Lightroom Classic is video and stills, irrespective of whether it's an analog film scanned image, whether it's a DSLR or mirrorless, or whether it was taken on a mobile phone or tablet. And it supports all our assets, all our images and videos, wherever they are, whenever they were taken, in whatever format. We can apply what they call metadata, which is the technical data, location, and keywords and description to our images. We can edit our images using the Develop module, which is Adobe Camera Raw, exactly the same as in Photoshop. And we can edit and enhance and tell the stories that we wish to do in that Develop module. We can also see within Classic the Map module, which is if there is GPS location, which we can assign at time of capture or after the event in the Library module. So we can see all the images that were taken at a particular location, zooming in out of a map. There's the Print module, and that's designed for making prints on, perhaps we have a wide format printer or access to a wide format printer, or perhaps we're sending our images away and we get them ready exactly how we want to ship them to the printer, up online or taking it into a shop with a stick or whatever, and that's done in the Print module. There's a slideshow module, which is making a video of our images into a slideshow. There's also the web module. We can create a web gallery, upload it within Lightroom for other people to see. And this is all within Lightroom Classic. And I treat Lightroom Classic as my hub, my center hub to my workflow within my catalog. All my 300 odd thousand, and I've still got more historic archive images to import into Lightroom Classic. Now, the great thing about Lightroom Classic is I'm looking for, let's say, a particular image that was taken on a particular day, and I can't find it. I can quite easily search my whole catalogue, irrespective of where they're stored, by date, perhaps by geographic location, perhaps by keyword, if I've added keywords to it, or maybe camera. So extending that example, you could say, I was on holiday in Italy, or I was on a photography trip to Iceland, this particular date range, 2 weeks. Show me all the images I've liked, or all the images via my mobile phone, or taken with my camera with a particular lens, and you can create what they call smart collections, which they follow particular rules and filters. So that's an overview of what Lightroom Classic is. It's a traditional viewing software that we import and export data via our keyboards, a mouse and desktop tablets. But the primary thing is we can globally do whatever action we require to several images at once. So we can edit an image or apply data to an image, description for example, or title or keywords. And we can sync that across multiple images. So we edit one, might have taken 50 images at that particular time, and when we want to apply all that information, says 50, you just select and press one button and it applies all the data non-destructively to each of those images for you. Now, Photoshop and other applications are what I call single image application. You open up one file, you edit it, and you've got to do the same edit. And I know there is a workflow that you can do the same thing to multiple images multiple times, but primarily you're doing edits one after another to different images. So it's a single image application rather than a catalogue based. Where does Photoshop fit into the workflow of Lightroom Classic? Well, I use Lightroom Classic for what I call heavy lifting, where Lightroom Classic is for editing, dodging and burning, so making areas darker or lighter, changing colours, cropping images. But if there are particular actions that I wish to do, real precise selections, or removing, or enhancing areas that could be difficult within an editing software, I will use Photoshop. That's a manipulation tool. But probably 90% of my workflow is in Lightroom Classic. Now again, where does Lightroom fit into this? Well, Lightroom is away from your desk, away from your laptop, away from your main computer if you have those. You can install Lightroom on your desktop and laptop, and actually I recommend that because our mobile devices sometimes are the small screens, and for our convenience we want a larger interface, an easier way to work within the application. So Lightroom is designed for when we're away from our desktop. That could be in the field of photography. That could be using a mobile phone or a tablet as a camera. And there are some cameras that have Lightroom built into them. So you take a picture with your mobile phone. It's a photograph. As a visual practitioner, I'm not fussed realistically what image or what device I've taken that image with. I'm interested in the image. I'm not interested in the lens. I'm not interested in the camera. I'm interested in the story, the emotion, the psychogeography of the image. And if it was taken with a mobile phone, so be it. But how do I get that image into my workflow? Well, Lightroom is a management and editing piece of software. So I can capture, apply data, edit, and it syncs seamlessly into the ecosystem of Adobe. So I can sync it into Photoshop if I want to do some heavy lifting, or I can sync it back to Lightroom Classic and put it with all my other images. So it's one place. Now, how does it do that? Well, it does that in the cloud. It syncs via your data, whether that's cellular or Wi-Fi. You capture the image on your phone, for example. You upload it into Lightroom, into the cloud, or you can do that via a browser. You can plug your camera in if you wish, into your tablet, into your laptop. You can import the images from your camera. They will sync to the cloud and they will come back down to your main catalogue and be put in the hard drive where all your other images are, in an automated workflow if you so wish. So there's none of this plugging your phone in, syncing images. It does it all seamlessly in the background. Lightroom also allows you to share images with family, friends and colleagues. They can comment on images just like they do in social media, and that comes back into your workflow, onto your mobile phone or into your catalogue within Lightroom Classic. So they could say, oh, I really love this. Could I have a copy of this? You can give them rights so they could download the image. So you're not sending emails backwards and forwards with attachments. They might say, oh, could I have this in black and white, please? Or you could even give them permissions within Lightroom, if they have a free account, to edit the image on your behalf. Change the crop, change it black and white. So it's a very powerful ecosystem. Lightroom Classic, as I say, is more of a computer, desktop, laptop based. Lightroom, whilst it runs quite perfectly well on desktops and laptops, is more for away from your ecosystem. You can use it in the field, literally in a field, in a coffee shop, plug your camera in, import them. So these days you don't need to buy millions of compact flash cards or SD cards. You can sync to your iPad or your laptop, and once they have synced to the cloud, your files can be, as default, removed. You just see previews. They're sitting in Adobe's cloud. So there's some reasons why you may consider the Adobe Lightroom ecosystem. As a part of the photography bundle, you get Lightroom with 1 terabyte of storage and Photoshop, or you can have Lightroom Classic, Lightroom and Photoshop with 20 gigabyte storage. Now, why subscription? Well, we've obviously got this storage space in the cloud, but technology advances with AI. So the new masking tools that are in Lightroom, there's product research and development, which costs money. There's new cameras being manufactured by Nikon, Canon, Sony, Fuji, etc. And Adobe needs to plow resources into that. So as new functionality comes along, they regularly, every 4 to 6 months, update the software, bug fixes and new functionality. And that is why there's a subscription base. It costs money to keep the software running. We're using a service now where historically there hasn't been the internet as such. So you've bought a license. You've physically got a disk with it on, and we think that we own that disk. We don't. We just own a license to use the software, and it's delivered by disk. That's always been the license terms. Now it's delivered by the internet because the world is connected via the internet. And we pay a subscription. So we pay $10, £10 a month for the photography bundle from Adobe, and we have all these services. And I suppose in a way you could give you a scenario is you're buying your camera, but when a new lens comes out or a new camera comes out and it's not compatible with your current camera, you need to upgrade that. And it's a similar philosophy. You need to upgrade your camera. But what's happening with Adobe is that you're paying a smaller amount each month, and the updates regularly pop along. Now, you also get the support from Adobe, because there's a chat box within their web browser. And there's also their training, their videos and help desk and their community. You also get the whole ecosystem on a web browser. So if you're away on holiday and you haven't got your laptop or your tablet with you or your phone or whatever, you can still access all or the majority of your images with you wherever you are. And you can import them. So give you a scenario, you're in a hotel in India with internet connection. Each night you can plug in your camera to the computer and upload them to the cloud. So you've got a backup of all your images, for example, whilst you're on your photography trip. That's all a service, it's not a standalone thing. Finally, there's lots of great communities out there. I run a Lightroom support group on a Monday evening live on Zoom for around about 90 minutes. And we follow a theme, a task and finish the evening with your random Lightroom Classic and Lightroom questions. And as a group, we answer them, because there's several different ways of answering that question. What is your workflow? And we all learn from it. I learn from all the members every week. You know, they do things a slightly different way. And oh, I've never thought of it like that. Yes, we could do it like this. And if we did it like this as well, and that enhances my workflow, because I don't want to be sitting in front of my computer all day long, you know, editing images. I want to be back out there, experiencing the world, taking photographs, creating images, telling stories. Lightroom is a tool for me to make and manipulate my stories and enhance them for the viewer. So I hope that answered your question. What is Lightroom Classic, Lightroom and Photoshop, how it works? If you've got a question, leave it in the comments. Why not subscribe, give me a thumbs up, or check out lightroommonday.com. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Take care. Bye for now.